Hey! I think we're live right now. We're actually trying the microphone to know if the audio is working. If not, well, I hope it is. If not, just let us know through the chat and then we'll just plug it out and have a bit worse audio, I guess. So can you hear me? I'll assume you can, since we've already started. But oh, great! Thank you, Paolo. Yay! Okay, so first of all, we wanted to introduce ourselves. I don't know if you want to start, Almendra.
Hi, my name is Almendra Morel. I'm the Communications and Media Executive at Start-Up Chile. So if you are part of this program, I'll be in charge of checking your social media, your communicational strategies, all your contact with the press. So I'm very excited for this webinar today.
Yes, thank you, Almendra. And some of you may already know me. I've reached out to you and talked to most of you already through email and through personal conference. My name is Paula Ene. I'm the Start-Up Chile Scouter, and I also lead the international networks for the program. And as Almendra, I'm very excited about this webinar because you guys are particularly very strong candidates for the program, okay? So what we wanted to do today is basically hear you out. Hopefully you got to read the terms and conditions before you join, so you understand what the program is about, what are the requirements, etc. And you have like specific questions we can go through with you. But all questions are welcome, so don't be embarrassed to shoot any question you may have. So yeah. I'll start before we have questions. So Almendra is going to be going through the questions, and that's why she's looking to another screen. And we'll be answering both of them. But first of all...
Wait. There's people that cannot hear us.
Okay.
Pablo, I think you can hear us. Rafi says he can hear us. So please let us know if audio is still available.
No, it's okay. Okay, maybe it's just a moment. So basically nothing really important has been said yet. You haven't missed out on anything more than Almendra and I will be here to answer all the questions you may have. I'm gonna first tell you about the timeline. So the application process for Seed G21 is currently open and it closes on September 4th, okay? 5 o'clock Chile time, which is GMT -3, because time will change soon. And make sure that you applied before that. Sometimes because so many people leave the application for last moment, the server comes down and blah, 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 you know, typical technical issues with when there's an overload of users. So don't be one of those persons, just do your application in time. Once the applications are filled in, we're gonna start our selection process and the results will come out on November 30th, okay? Not before that, not after, so you will be receiving an email that day, towards the end of the day, more than the beginning, about if you've been selected or not, and the reasons, if not, the reasons why not. Once you're selected, we start with a soft landing program, which is basically for those of you who are foreign or don't have a Chilean visa. We help you with the visas, for you, for your team members, for your family, for anybody you need to bring to Chile for the whole duration of the program. And that process, because there's a lot of you, that process takes a bit. So the program will start on February 4th or 5th.
No, 19th.
That Monday, no, that changed. It's February 4th or 5th, yes. But anyways, it's the Monday of that week. We'll be expecting you. We're gonna be really excited to receive you. So that's like the general timeline. So you should keep that in mind. In the email I sent you, there was a link for the apply now, where you can apply. So if you filled in a form, either it be an interest form or recruitment form or whatever kind of form, but it was a type form, then that's not the form you need to fill in to apply. You need to fill in the form on a platform called Charlie. The information is online, the information is in the emails I've sent you, so you can start your application in there, okay? So now I invite you to ask any questions. I'm not sure if we have any questions till the moment, but I invite you to start asking any questions you may have. Yes. In the meanwhile, I'm going to explain the program to everyone. First, I wanted to tell you that Start-Up Chile is a public accelerator. It's government run. It's an initiative of the Ministry of Economy. We started in 2010. We were the first public accelerator in the world. And as of now, over 56 countries have either been inspired or replicated the program, okay? So in that way, I guess it's one of the initiatives that has brought government and innovation together, which is usually like two things that you don't generally or naturally bring together. In 2010, basically, well, from 2010 until now, we've had really, really good results. We are an international program that invites highly talented entrepreneurs with tech-based potential startups to Chile to grow from Chile to the rest of the world. And for that, we have an offer. And the seed offer is basically up to $80,000 US. I'm going to be very clear with this. If you get selected, you're eligible for $40,000 US just by being selected. But the other 40,000 will depend on performance throughout the program. So you can get up to $80,000 US, but if you get selected, what you will get, yes or yes, is $40,000 US. Okay, equity free, all of it, the whole total of the 80,000. Plus, there's a soft landing program for those of you who are foreign, which I already explained. But basically, we help you out with visas for you, your team members, and your family. If you want to come with your family, the visas are for work. So you have a 1-year work visa, which you can extend by the end of the program if you decide to stay.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
yay!
Go ahead.
Okay, Javier wants to know. Just wanted to leave a question. What if I'm already in Chile and have a temporary visa?
Yeah, so it will depend. Like, that's not a problem at all. In fact, it will depend when your visa is gonna expire. So if it expires maybe, let's say, May, then you can start the program. Do you have a route number? You have to have like a Chilean ID. As long as your visa is registered and you have an ID, then you can start the program with that visa, and then we help you extend it through another type of visa, which we host, particularly as Startup Chile, called Visa Tech, which is a special visa for any startups or any founders that are supported by Startup Chile. It's a very painless process. It takes, give or take, 20 to 25 work days to issue, and it's going to be really easy, so don't worry about that part.
Awesome. Then one wants to know, our company is registered in another country out of Chile. Is this a limitation to apply to see G21?
Not at all. Yeah, all companies are welcome. As we said before, this is an international program, and we want you to come with your companies. I'm gonna how do you say? I'm gonna go more in depth on that question. So basically, you guys can apply as a natural person or as a company. The company can be foreign and also can be Chilean. If you apply as a company, then the way you can pay yourselves, like you can pay yourselves through the grant, is that you can give yourselves salaries. The salary is of 1 million Chilean pesos for the team leader and team members. That's roughly, I think, maybe $1,800 US or something like that. And if you apply as a natural person, then you cannot pay yourself a salary, but you can cover your housing costs. So the rent of the place where you will be staying, like the expenses of the apartment. What you cannot reimburse is food, drinks, unluckily, entertainment, anything that really doesn't have to do with you being able to be here in Chile. I guess you can live without beers, right? So you can't reimburse your beers. But you can reimburse like the housing general costs, like the bills and stuff like that.
Then Pamela wants to know, do you have a total schedule from program? Yes, we are gonna give the results on September 4th. Sorry, application closes on September 4th. Then we're gonna publish the results on November 30th in the afternoon. So please be patient with this. And as Paula said before, the program starts in the first week of February.
Well, it's February 4th, yeah.
Yeah, more or less. And then you can have to count the most, about 6 months of the duration of the program.
Yes, and for a schedule of the program itself, just if that was your question, you will be given the general schedule of the program once you are selected during the landing steps, okay? So you will be able to plan ahead for the activities of the program in case you need to, you're doing business somewhere else as well, you need to come and go. You can come and go, but you have to be here for mandatory activities. There is at least one mandatory activity per month. They're cool though, like it's not like a boring mandatory activity, but there's at least once a month. So the team leader, which is a person, there's a figure in the application form called team leader. This is the person which will hold the contract with us, with Corfo, with Startup Chile. And this is the person that needs to necessarily be here on all mandatory dates, okay? So this person has to be a founder and has to have more than 10% of the participation of the company. Okay, so choose wisely. If you have a bigger team, you're more than one founder. Choose which founder will be here in Chile throughout the whole duration of the program, so you don't have any issues down the road. Okay. Remember that you have to be like a team leader, you have to have at least 10% of equity in the company.
Yes. Then Pamela, how many projects do you will support? Okay, this changes every time. It depends a lot about the applications, but just to give you a number, the last generation that we chose, that was G20, were 60 projects.
Yes. So as Almendra says, it will vary from generation to generation. The program is more and more competitive. We have more and more applications of great startups like yourselves. So we can't say exactly how many we'll take in, but give or take 60 is a good number.
Yeah. Rafi, I'm not the founder of our startup, but I'm the COO. Can I apply as a natural person or the foundership? If you are the one that's coming to Chile and is gonna be part of the program for the whole entire 6 months, then you should apply as the team leader.
As long as you have equity in the company.
Yes.
Because that's gonna, if you don't, then you'll be left out because of pertinencia, like general criteria, like the terms and conditions of the program state that the founder has to be the team leader, one of the founders. So to make sure that it's a founder, you have to hold stake in the company, which can't be less than 10%.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just gonna go a bit more in depth on that. Why? Because at Startup Chile, we have a lot of networks. We have a corporate network, which is composed of over 170 companies which are tremendously active and work very close with our startups. So you can reach out to this network, either it be for feedback or maybe for selling your product or for validating, for whatever you need, they're there. And because we've created this network with the decision makers of these companies, we want to send them decision makers from our startups, okay? We need people that can work quickly, and for that, it has to be someone that can take, important decisions considering the company. Just before we go on to the next question, so there's a corporate network, then we have a mentors network, which is very, very broad. It's an expert network. It's national and international. And you'll be seeing a lot of these mentors during your time here. You can choose one like anchor mentor for your company. And there will also be an instance called subboards, which is like an advisory board that is assigned to each startup. These guys the only intention they have is to get to know you and help you and connect you. And those boards happen every 2 months. And that, for example, is a mandatory activity. Every 2 months you have a board. So the Mentors Network kind of comes in and shows like the expertise depending on which industry you guys are working on. We have an investors network from when you're ready to raise capital. An alumni network. Startup Chile has been going on since 2010. So until now, more than 4,000 people have gone through the program. So it's broad and it's a very active network as well. It's worldwide as well, so it's very useful. And finally, we have the Global Partners Network, which is the one I lead, which for startup purposes helps you when you want to scale or you want to go into other accelerators. You can reach out to me and I'll connect you with these people so you can scale into other markets also painlessly. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to comment on the network.
Okay, Mark wants to know, can family go to school? If you come here with your family, of course they can go to school, but that's part of your budget. It's not part of the Startup Chile fund.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't reimburse like the school tuition.
No. Pamela, okay, 20 to 60 projects? No, not 20 to 60 projects. Well, for TSF program, we choose around 20 projects, and for seed program, we choose around 60 to 70 projects, depending on their quality or how many applications we get. But every time we're reducing a little bit the amount of startups we get because we want to have better startups. Is this only for 2 people of the team?
No, well, basically in the application form, maybe Almendra, you can help me out with this, but there's different figures. You have your team leader, and then you can inscribe 2 team members, right? Yes. Those team members are up to you. They don't necessarily have to be co-founders. They can be an employee of yours. And then if you have more than 3 people on the team, you cannot put them in the application form, but that doesn't mean that we don't support you guys with them. All of them can come through the soft landing program with us. The co-work space, which is free for you. I'll show you at the end of the webinar. I'm just going to turn the screen around and show you what the co-work looks like. Is also there for you. all the workshops are there for you. Basically, your team can be as active as the team leader and team members.
Yes.
The person that holds the legal contract with Corpo is the team leader, so please keep that in mind.
That's the most important part, because a lot of times we receive applications and afterwards we receive emails that say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that the team leader had to come to Chile, so please let me change this. And since we're a public accelerator, as Paula said before, we cannot change that information. So once your application is already submitted, that information cannot be changed. So please choose wisely, because we get a lot of startups that have to go back home because the team leader was not actually the person that was going to come to the program for the 6 months of acceleration, okay?
Yes.
Dimitri, we are FinTech. The main goal is to get local banks and insurance companies. Can you help with this?
Of course.
Yes, we have a huge corporate network, both national and international, and we have a special person in charge of that corporate network. So our job, in a way to say it, is to connect you with all the companies that you're interested in working with.
Yes, so even if the companies are not in the network and you want to connect with them, you can do that through us. Startup Chile does open a lot of doors for you. It's not like you randomly knocking on a company's door and saying like, hey, can we do business? If you do it through us, it's going to be easier, and the people are going to trust that you're someone to be presented to. So yes, we can help you with insurance and we can help you with banks. We have a lot of banks in our network and also insurance.
Yes. Now, Pamela, what kind of recommendation letter do you need? There is some specific requisite? Okay, the recommendation letter should be from a peer, from an ex-boss, maybe from a teacher, someone that can prove that you or can support that you and your team are the best ones to make that project happen. And it has to be someone like not your mom or your dad, but someone that actually can give us a little feedback about yourself, your team, and your project.
Yes.
So that's most information about the recommendation letter. Don't worry about
anyone who can vouch for you.
Yeah. And can validate what you're presenting.
Yes.
One more question. Only the team leader can go to the mandatory meetings? No. Actually, all the team can go to the mandatory meetings,
yes,
unless we have small space where we can ask you just for the team leaders to come, but that doesn't usually happen. So all activities are open for all the team members,
yes,
of the startup. So I think that's a very good question.
Yes.
The average price of material office lease costs.
Well, I'm not sure where you're going with that question, but if your question is if you need to lease office space, no, we provide that for you for free. And materials, I guess, I don't know, of course it would depend on the specific material you're looking for. You can maybe write us an email and then we can get back to you on that. Yeah.
What is the dominant requirement that makes the business acceptable into the program? Must it be fundamentally tech-based? Yes. All the startups we accept at Startup Chile must be tech-based. Mm-hmm. And also we require that on your proposal, you have a proposal about how you're going to impact Chile economically and why you are choosing Chile to make business.
Yes.
I think that's one of the biggest questions, and also how your business can scale. We're not looking for startups that, for example, are just working in Chile, but we are looking for startups that maybe start working in Chile but are thinking globally and want to expand to Latin or to the world in the next few years.
Yeah, just to like say a bit more on your answer, like one of the coolest things about Chile really is that it's a great entry point to the rest of Latin America, mainly because we're a stable country economically, politically, socially, so you can count on things like being the way they are. Also, the country really, like historically, has really enjoyed immigration, so we've always invited people to come here, and specifically now, what's happening is that there's several institutions that are making it easier to come to Chile and grow your business. So basically, you can build your company in one day, for example. Like taxes aren't as harsh as maybe other Latin American countries, especially with startups. You have a lot of talent, professional talent here, which is cheaper than other parts of the world. So in that way, what we're looking for is for you guys to be attracted to Chile, to kind of, use Chile as a platform to grow to other markets. We understand that maybe Chile in itself might not be the most attractive market for you, and maybe it is. Both of those are okay as long as you feel that Chile would be a great place to use as a platform for to scale into the other markets. Yeah.
Okay, Mark wants to know, continuing with his first question, we need to partner with last mile logistics. Do you have a company go through your program we can meet?
We need to what? We need to partner with last mile logistics. Yeah, of course. Like we have a big once you're selected, there's actually someone called your landing buddy, which is someone that went through the program recently that is assigned to you, so he can help you with like all the everything you need to know about coming to Chile, landing in Chile, where to live, how much to pay, where not to live, how much not to pay. I don't know, like just general recommendations on lifestyle. All those tips will be better given by people who have actually come to Chile and joined the program. So yeah, if that was your question, if I understood well, that's the answer. If not, maybe you can explain it a bit better.
Yeah. Pamela wants to know, the 3 members of the team can use the Startup Chile co-work in Chile during the program? Yes.
Yes, of course.
We accept the team leaders, the team members, the employees, so it's a co-working space that is free for you and your whole team, so that's great.
Yes.
How old can the company be to apply to the program? You have to have at the most 3 years.
Yes, since incorporation.
Since incorporation.
Yes.
We don't accept companies that are more than 3 years old since their incorporation.
But there is one thing which is catchy. If you're like soon to be on the 3 years, your application has to be made before you are 3 years. So for example, today, what date is it? It's the 9th of August. Let's say that your company turns 3 years the 10th of August. If you were to apply today,
you can.
Then you're eligible. Okay, so it's tricky. It's kind of in the terms and conditions, but just your application has to be made before you turn 3 years. If in February you're over 3 years, it's not a problem.
Yeah. Rotsman, hi Rotsman. How do we can secure our business in Chile? I'm not sure we understand that question.
How do we can secure a business in Chile? Well, I guess what I can say to your question is basically if you come to Startup Chile and you use our networks, then I'm sure that you'll be able to grow your business here.
Yeah. Pamela, all the meetings and presentations should be in English? Yes.
Yes, the program is in
English. Since we are an international program, all the program is in English, okay?
Yes.
So, but if you are not so fluid in English, you will learn Startup Chile to speak more fluidly. Yeah. And we will be like helping you with that, so don't worry about it. Achille. I was asking something different. If the team leader is not in Chile and there is a mandatory meeting, can someone else from the team attend?
No, unfortunately, no.
The team leader has to attend, is the one that has to attend to every mandatory activity. And actually, that's one of the causes we have that we can
expel you
from the program, because that's why we ask for the team leader to be the one that is going to be in Chile for the entire duration of the program.
Again, the reason behind that is just not because we want it to be that way. It's because we've really worked hard on creating a network of decision makers, mentors, like corporates, investors, etc., etc. So we want the decision maker on your side to be here as well.
Yeah, and also just to give you a little bit of more information, as Paula said before, once you get into the program, we're going to give you the whole calendar for the 6 month duration of the program. So you will know exactly when are your mandatory activities. Mm-hmm. And for example, if you have a business trip that you have to attend to, we ask you to schedule it, of course, on the time that we don't have mandatory activities, and that has to be approved by your account executive. But that information, as it is given at the beginning of the program, we expect you to schedule your calendar through it, okay? Yes. So that's better that way. The recommendation letter can be signed by a sub entrepreneur. Yes, it can.
Of course, that would be awesome, actually.
Can the team leader dedicate to other activities? No, the team leader has to be 100% dedicated to the startup that is part of the program.
Yes.
Okay, please don't confuse that the team leader is like the owner of the startup, that this happens sometimes. So the team leader can be the CTO, the COO, someone that has at least 10% of participation of your company, and that can come to Chile for the 6 months of the duration of the program. Okay. Paulo, currently our business is established on Brazil, but we're moving to US to open an LLC there. I understand that Startup Chile focuses to open a presence in Chile to deal with the Latin market. After being approved, can our company stay with both companies?
Yes.
One in Chile to the Latin market and the US company to the rest of the world?
Of course,
yes,
no
of course. We don't have any problem with that.
What's more, like, as a program, you're not like obligated to open a company in Chile, but we highly suggest it, and there are like incentives towards you guys doing that. So we help you do that really quickly and easily and smoothly, but it's not like necessary. Okay, so you can come here, and then like throughout the ongoing of the program, you can decide to incorporate, and then we can change the figure of your contract from natural person to company, or from foreign company to local company. And that's easy, okay?
Yeah. Okay, we have a difficult question now.
Yeah.
Dimitri wants to know, how much money does the family of 3 people, 2 adults and 1 beautiful 4-year-old girl, usually need for rent, bills, kindergarten, transportation, just approximately?
It's hard to say, like,
it's hard to say. I think it depends a lot. For example, if you're renting an apartment that's close to the co-work, then you're gonna maybe put your child in a kindergarten that's close to this neighborhood, that those are a little bit cheaper than the ones that are farther from the co-work.
Yes.
And also the transportation, then you won't need transportation. So,
I mean, look, like a good reference, I guess, is if you think Chile is as expensive as maybe southern Spain, or like maybe, I don't know, southern Italy as well. It's around that price range. There are differences, of course. So rent for like a 2-bedroom rent apartment in the center of Santiago would be maybe, I don't know, 350.
Yeah, maybe 250 at tops 400.
Top 400,000 Chilean pesos, which is roughly 800 US dollars.
But we have a Russian, a Siberian founder that came here last year.
Yes.
With her husband and her daughter, and her daughter actually goes to school now. So
we can connect you with her.
We can connect you with her. So Dimitri, just write an email to Paula or to contact@startupchile.org, and we can connect you with Anastasia so that she can give you a little bit more information about the pricing and housing costs and school costs for that matter. Okay. At what exact stage are you looking within candidate startups? At what language do locals speak? And will it be a problem not being proficient in it?
So stage-wise, it's early stage startups, which we don't take startups that are older than 3 years, just to make sure that we're supporting startups themselves and not bigger companies. Language,
but with at least an MVP,
yes,
and a viable,
and a prototype.
Yeah,
yes.
And a prototype.
But they can apply with a concept if it's very, very disruptive, and it's like we can see the potential in that as well. Next, what language do we speak? We speak Espanol, Spanish.
We're Spanish, mostly Chilean. That's difficult to understand. You'll get used to it when you come to Chile, but Spanish mostly, and in the co-work, it's mainly, I think, between Spanish and English. Yeah, because we have people from like a lot of different countries every time.
So you won't have a problem with the language thing. People in Chile, I wouldn't say everyone speaks Spanish at all, but people are quite friendly to foreigners. And in the program itself, everything is in English. You won't have a problem with that, and it's a great opportunity to come and learn a bit of Spanish.
So it's a problem not being proficient in it. Well, it's a problem, but we can fix it during the duration of the program. We're gonna help you. Your peers will help you with your English or anything that you need. So I think that language will not be a barrier.
Not at all. Program. All the team members should speak in English. No, that's not a problem. It's under. About using a company, can I just register?
Pablo, 1-year-old max? Yes. 3-year-old max. All the 3 members of the team should speak in English? No, not necessarily. At least the team leaders, because as he or she is the one that has to attend to all the mandatory activities, he or she has to understand what it's happening, and also that's the person that has to pitch in the pitch presentations, in pitch day, in demo day. So hopefully the team leader speaks English.
Okay, Javier Murillo has a good question. Can you register a new company to use it to apply to the program? I'm guessing that your company is older than 3 years. unfortunately, no, and that will definitely come up like during the application process, and you will just be like out of the selection process because based on our terms and conditions, which state that you can't be older than 3 years, then you would be left out. Even if the new company is, it comes up. So unfortunately, no.
Okay, then Rafi, I heard that the Chilean Central Bank President, Mario Marcel, has made comments seemingly in favor of developing a regulatory apparatus for virtual currencies. Is that true?
I have no comments on that, to be honest.
No.
Nothing has been affecting in that sense Startup Chile. I don't know, couldn't say if it's true or false.
Yep. Juan C. Osorio, another question. Which will be the best phase of the company to apply? A, traction. B, pre-operative. C, business idea.
No, traction. Yeah.
Definitely traction. Business idea, it's just for TSF program. You cannot apply with just a business idea to the seed program, okay? What is the difference between the S-Factory program and seed? Okay, the S-Factory program is a program that is for female founders. Not just female founders, but people that identify with the female gender. They can apply with just the idea, and the equity-free fund they get is not of 40K. It's about 20K more, no, 15K more or less. And it's not a 6-month acceleration program. It's between a 3 to 4 month acceleration program. And also, I think I'm missing something. And they can apply with the idea, just with the idea, because we want to encourage female founders to apply, because more or less 21% of all portfolios are founded by women. So we want to encourage women founders and startups. That's why the TSF Factory was born, and Seed has the other conditions.
Yeah. Akile wants to know how long the program is. Well, so there's, on one side, you're receiving a government grant, right? So that's where the money comes from. I'll say more about that in a moment. Then there's the acceleration program. The acceleration program lasts 6 months from day one until the whole 6 months, okay? So what you can do is, the way you spend the money is up to you. So you can spend the money in 6 months, and then the program can be over for you. But you can spend the money all the way up to 12 months. So that's how long you have to spend the money. And you have to be in Chile as long as you haven't spent the whole grant and haven't showed what you've been spending the money on. So the acceleration program lasts 6 months, but the time you'll be in Chile will eventually depend more on how you plan to spend the money. Yes, that's the answer.
Is there any tax benefit once granted with the funds?
No, not really, but it doesn't affect taxes.
Yeah. Javier, all right. And what about if a registered company is not a tech company and want to register a new one for this? Sorry if I'm redundant.
I mean, if you're working on a new product which your previous company didn't work on, and then you found hey, this could be a great solution, and you've kind of started and you want to create a new company for that product solely, then that is not a problem. But if that brand is within your old company, then the company will be considered as the applicant, and that will be older than 3 years. So let's say that you have a cool, I don't know, something tech-based that is interesting and scalable, and it could grow worldwide, and then it doesn't have to do necessarily what you were doing before. You can register that company and apply with them. Yeah.
We have no more questions for now, but I just want to remind you, I think it's very important. The video, you have to apply with a 90-second video. It's a simple video, guys. Please don't worry about it. You just can tape yourself with your phone. Hopefully with you or your team members. If your team members are not there, maybe they can send you some videos of them and you can put them together. We want to see you. We want for you to explain us why you and your team are the best team to execute your project. What problem is your project solving? Stuff like that. It cannot have animations or
it can have animations.
Yeah,
it's just to show yourself.
Yeah, so it's very simple. So please don't worry about it. And the important thing is that you have to upload it to YouTube or to Vimeo, and you have to share with us the URL. Please don't make it private, because that won't happen. That won't make us see the video. And the most important thing is, if the video is not on the application form when it's submitted, it's not accepted after the submission.
Yeah, make sure the link works, that we can see it, that it's not over 1 minute and 30. If it is, We can only see until 1:30 to be fair with all the applications, so don't just keep it to 1:30. If you're remote with your team and you can't be all together in one place to make a video, no worries. You can edit it and put yourself together, or one of you can make it and mention the team, and maybe one of the team members can appear and say hey, I'm team member, which is wherever, and don't complicate yourselves. The idea is that we get to see who's behind this idea.
Can you use infography on the video? No, you cannot. Just yourselves.
Okay, I think we went through most questions. We just wanted to say thank you so much for being here today with us. All of you here were sent this link to this webinar because we consider you to be strong Startup Chile candidates. So I hope you can apply. If you have any further questions, I'm always happy to answer them. I do receive a lot of questions, so if I'm a bit late in my answer, I'm sorry, but I will get to your email as soon as I can.
And also you can write directly to contact@startupchile.org. And we're gonna have actually a public Q&A afterwards on July 16th.
Next Thursday.
August 16th, next Thursday. So if you want to join that one, you are also very welcome.
Yes.
We have one last question with Rafi. In market and business model section, question number 5, who are your competitors? Should we describe global or local competition? Both.
Oh, yeah. All the competition that you consider important. Great. Thank you so much, guys. I hope to meet you in person soon.
Yay!
Bye-bye.
Apply. Bye, guys.